Yes, good morning everybody. Welcome to this session of transportation engineering. Today we'll be seeing this topic gradient and grade compensation. What does it mean? Basically, in the previous session, I had explained you all what is horizontal alignment and what is vertical alignment, and what is the importance of vertical alignment, what important role it plays in in avoiding accidents as well as providing good access for to the driver. Today we'll be seeing what does the gradient mean, what does it mean, and what important it has. So you can see here, gradient, it is rate of rise or fall along the length of the road with respect to the horizontal. Basically, as we come across flat terrains as well as slopy terrains, mountainous terrains, and steep terrains also. So at those places when there is a sudden drop in the terrain and we have to plan a road according to that, sometimes we come across horizontal curve as well as vertical curves, and we sometimes come across transition curves also. When we come across these ups and downs, at that rate of rise or fall along the length of the road is called as horizontal is called as gradient. So this should be properly checked, because sudden rise and fall cannot be provided. It should be given a proper slope also, because if this is not designed properly, this might lead to big accidents also. So gradients are therefore categorized as ruling gradient, limiting gradient, exceptional gradient, and minimum gradient. So these have been categorized into these four types. We'll be seeing what does all of these mean. So because as you can see here, what is this ruling gradient? The gradient usually adopted while making the road alignment is called as the ruling gradient. So one gradient we usually adopt, as I had told you, first we whenever we go for planning a pavement, what we see is we see the alignment first. Then after seeing the alignment, we see the horizontal alignment as well as vertical alignment. Then we come across this problem of ups and downs in the road. So that marking should be done. What are the slopes? That levels should be properly marked. What are the different levels that we are coming across? That should be properly seen here. So that is what the gradient usually adopted while making the road alignment is called the ruling gradient. It is maximum gradient within which the designer attempts to design the vertical profile of a road. So vertical profile of a road is seen like this is the maximum up and down which can be planned by the designer. So it is also known as design gradient also. Ruling gradient is also known as design gradient. And what is it given as? As per IRC, the recommended value of ruling gradient for plain or rolling terrain is 1 in 30 or 3.3%. Basically, I'll tell you in the future slides what does 1 in 30 mean or what does 3.3% mean. So basically, this is the ruling gradient. The IRC has given this for rolling terrain or plain terrain. It has given 1 in 30 or 3.3%. Basically, if we go according to this values which have been given by the IRC, then we can properly design. We can properly So basically, the ruling gradient, as I had told you, as per the IRC, the recommended value for ruling gradient for plain or rolling terrain is 1 in 30 or 3.3%. We will be seeing what is for a different gradient, what has been provided. You can see in this figure, as you can see, the road is coming across from the flat terrain. It is getting a steep terrain here also is coming across. So this is the mountainous area. At this place, we will have to provide a very proper slope and we have to provide a very proper turn, because if we don't provide a proper turn or a horizontal curve, this might lead to a very big accident also here. So it is very important. You can see the slope what we'll have to maintain. We'll have to maintain a proper slope also. You just can't give a steep slope where the vehicle loses its balance, and sometimes when the vehicles goes downstream, the speed also increases. So it is very important. We should provide a proper gradient here. You can see in this figure what type of road is this. Basically, this is a mountainous area, so you come across these type of terrains also, but we have to provide some access to those mountainous areas also. We have tourist places, as we have some religious places also in. So at those places we come across these hurdles, but all these hurdles are they can be solved. So this is the ruling gradient. You can just see what is limiting gradient. The gradient steeper than the ruling gradient. This is more steeper, which may be used for a limited road length. So though we have a steep area, but it can be provided to a limited area only, limited road length only. It's called limiting gradient or maximum gradient, as you can see. We come across sudden slope, sudden steeper place, so that can be provided for a small area also. You can't just provide that for a longer area. If we come across very long length area, then we have different options to apply there. You can't go for limiting gradient in that case. It is used where the topography of place compels adopting a steeper gradient than the ruling gradient to minimize the cost of road construction. So sometimes what happens, we can't sometimes what happens when there are very huge areas, we can't excavate those areas. So at those places what we do is we provide this type of gradient, and we provide so that it forms a good access to the road where the driver gets a good access. So at that place we come across a limiting gradient also. You can just see here. Now what is exceptional gradient? The gradient steeper than the limiting gradient. So this exceptional gradient is comes under exceptional cases only. It is more steeper than the limiting gradient also, which may be used in a very short length of the road. Only in extraordinary situation. You can see here, it can be provided only in an extraordinary situation, is called as exponential gradient. This type of gradient is adopted only in a very difficult situation and for a short length not exceeding 100 meters at a stretch. You can see it is provided only in exceptional conditions, and that also for a very short length. It cannot be provided for a long length, and that also not exceeding more than 100 meters at a stretch. So you must have seen at some ghats also, you come across this type of problem. You have ups and downs in the terrain, so you have to provide some access. Some places are so steep you can't provide you can't provide a passage through it. So sometimes we try our best. The designer tries his best to provide gradients. In that exceptional case, we provide this type of gradient where the ruling gradient cannot be provided as well as limiting gradient cannot be provided. So in those exceptional cases, we provide this gradient. As per IRC, the recommended value of exceptional gradient for plain or rolling terrain is 1 in 15 or 6.7%. You can see here, exceptional gradient for plain and rolling terrain is 1 in 15 or 6.7%. So as in the previous you had seen, it was more than this, 1 into 30%. Here 1 in 15, 6.7. It was 3.3% in the ruling gradient. Here it is 6.7% as recommended by IRC. So ruling gradient is not much steeper, but a little more steeper than that is the limiting gradient. Much steeper than that is the exceptional gradient, which is provided only in exceptional conditions, not always. Let us see what is this. You can see here, this is the slope. You can see the slope. What type of slope is this? As you can see, this is a hilly area. You find these type of areas in northern areas of India also. At those places we come across this type. You can't excavate so much that much of earth soil. So in that conditions, what we do is we have provided a gradient which is not that steep enough. So you can see the vehicles how they are placed, but still at some times they might cause difficulty also to park, as well as in any extraordinary conditions these vehicles might not get a proper slope, which can lead to accidents also. So this is how these gradients are provided. You can see here minimum gradient, the minimum desirable slope. This is the minimum desirable slope essential for effective drainage of rainwater from the road surface is called minimum gradient. So basically, as I had told you all in the previous classes also, we provide camber also, where the water is provided with a slope where the water can run off, and possible drainage is possible in those pavements. So this is the minimum slope which can be provided for the rainwater to move off. As you have seen, where we don't provide proper runoff for the rainwater, many accidents have also occurred in those places, at those pavements also. The desirable minimum gradient for this purpose is 0.5%. So this is the minimum gradient, and that is 0.5%. This should be the slope. This is the minimum gradient. If the side drains are lined, and 1% if the side drains are unlined. If the side drains are lined, then only 0.5% is possible, or that is enough. 0.5% is enough. If that is not provided, side drains are not provided or lined, then 1% is enough. You must have seen in the pavements at the side of the road, some drains are provided with some meshes also, and you can see the water moving away from those meshes. So that is what the side drains are, and some of them are lined and some of them are unlined. So if they are lined, 0.5% is sufficient. If they are unlined, 1% will be applicable here. Let us see what is meant by 1 in n gradient. What do you mean by all this slope that are provided? What does it mean? See, it simply 1 refers to the vertical rise and n refers to the horizontal distance. For n units horizontal distance, the vertical rise will be 1 unit. So whatever the length is in horizontal of the pavement, but only 1 unit will be raised from one side, so that a proper gradient is provided, as well as proper runoff is also provided for the rain water to drain off. So this is what it means, 1 in n gradient. You can also see, now let us find out how can we find the gradient of a road. The gradient in roads can be represented as a percentage of 1 in n. 1 in n also can be provided here. You can see, first of all, you need to calculate the horizontal distance corresponding to the vertical rise. So basically, what type of road, as it is a single road or a double road or one way or two way, whatever it is, what type of pavement it is, we'll have to first decide that, and that depending on that horizontal, we'll have to go for the rise, how much rise should be provided, vertical rise. For example, if the measured horizontal distance is about 4 unit and the corresponding vertical rise is 1 unit, then the gradient of the road will be 1 in 4. You can understand 1 is the vertical rise and 4 is the horizontal distance. So this is how you specifically portray, this is how the rise should be. If you want to convert it into percentage, then divide the rise by run and multiply with 100. In the above case, it will be in the above case, as the vertical rise we have taken it as 1, and horizontal distance we have taken it as 4. So it will be 1 by 4 into 100, that is 25%. So this is the 25% how we have calculated. It is very simple. We'll have to see what is the horizontal distance, and then we'll have to provide the rise. We can just multiply, divide it and multiply it with 100, we'll get the percentage. You can just see here, you can see this figure here, the rise is 1 as well as and the run. So the vertical distance, that is called as rise, and the horizontal distance, that is called as run. So rise is 1 and the horizontal distance is 4. We divide 1 by 4 and multiply it with 100, we will get the percentage here. So this is what it is. The recommended value of limiting gradient for steep terrain is 1 in 14.3 or 7%. So for limiting gradient, this has been provided. For steep terrain, it is 1 in 14% or 1 in 14.3 or 7%. So all this have been given by the IRC. They have provided for limited gradient what should be the steep terrain. As you can see, for rolling terrain, what is it? The recommended value of limiting gradient for rolling terrain is 1 in 20 or 5%. So this, it should be provided at 5% only for rolling terrain. For steep terrain, it is 7%, because in steep terrain, if the gradient is not provided properly, there might be a very big consequences and loss to life also. So this is what is about rolling gradient and limiting gradient and exceptional gradient, as well as the other gradient also. You can just see it here. So you can see here, this is the grade compensation. What does it mean? It can be defined as the reduction in gradient at the horizontal curve. So basically we had seen what is gradient, and in that we had seen types of gradients also, limiting gradient, as well as then we had seen rolling gradient and exceptional gradient. So, and how are they defined and how do we provide it? So what is grade compensation is, we will try to reduce the gradient at the horizontal curve. We can't provide a steep slope there because already we have come across a horizontal curve. So we will have to reduce the gradient there. So to reduce it, we do some excavation there, we remove some mud, earth, soil from those places, and then we provide a gradient. This reduction is called as grade compensation. Due to curve, some extra tractive forces are already generated. As we had seen, whenever we come across a horizontal curve, we come across some centrifugal force is already generated. To reduce that centrifugal force, we already provide a super elevation. Now because already we are providing super elevation and some force is already generated, we try to reduce this force. So to provide resistance to these forces, grade compensation is provided. If we don't provide resistance to these forces, then there are chances of overturning as well as skidding of the vehicles also. You can see grade compensation is not required when grade is flatter than 4%. If the grade is flatter than 4%, we don't require to provide grade compensation. That means we require to reduce the gradient at the horizontal curve. So this should be seen. If it is flatter, then it is well and good. We don't need to reduce the gradient. If it is not flatter, then we will have to go for grade compensation also. Let us see. The grade compensation is expressed as 30 plus r, and you can 30 plus r by r, where r is the radius of curve in meters. It is 30 plus r divided by r, where r is the radius of curve in meter. The maximum grade compensation is limited to 75 by r in percentage. So all this is provided in percentage. So it is very easy to calculate grade compensation. It is only 30 plus r divided by r, where r is radius of the curve. So as we have come across a horizontal curve, we will know the radius also. So we just substitute that value of radius and we will get the grade compensation also. The maximum grade compensation is limited to 75 by r in percentage. Let us see